Great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
So what we fundamentally have here is that economics is the scientific study of decision making. Why? Because making a decision means dealing with the problem of scarcity. What does scarcity mean? Okay, so scarcity, I got some notes here. Let me look on here. I want to make sure I don't mess you up in the head. So here's the idea in scarcity. The idea in scarcity is that people, individuals, organizations, and societies, they have goals. They have goals. You have goals, things you want to accomplish, things that you want, things that you think you need. Businesses have things that they want or need. Society has things that they want or need. And those goals have no limit at all. So our goals are unlimited. The goals that you have for your life are unlimited. Maybe you have a goal to buy a $50,000 car. Well, why buy a $50,000 car when you buy a $60,000 car? Why limit it at $50,000? If you can have anything you want, everything that you want, how long would that list be? Well, I promise you, you'd probably run out of time before you ran out of things that you could put on that list of things that you want, goals that you have. And so our goals, okay, or our wants, let's put down here, our wants or our needs, the things that we want to accomplish or have for ourselves, they are unlimited, which means they are much larger than the resources that we have, or what we call factors. They are greater than the resources, but we call them factors in economics. The resources or factors that are used to provide those goals or those wants. Okay? So, for example, let's say that I want to eat lots and lots of pizza. I have a goal. I want to eat 1,000 slices of pizza. Why do I want to eat 1,000 slices of pizza? Because pizza is awesome. Well, to me it is. It's delicious. So when I take that first bite of pizza, it tastes so good that I want to experience that yumminess of pizza in perpetuity. I want to constantly be experiencing it. I want to be experiencing it all day long, every day, all the time. The problem is that my stomach and my body cannot handle eating pizza all the time. At some point or another, I have to stop eating pizza because...
Come on, Professor Ryan. Apply it to relationships. Can your spirit handle all the happiness you want, you desire? Many of you guys feel like you deserve the world. But if you got the world, could you handle it? Would it be fulfilling, or would there be diminished returns after a little while? Oh, Lord, Zoe Williams, you thought that I wasn't thinking about y'all during my little weekend? Nah, I'm back up in here, ready to keep this conversation going. Tonight's topic, spouseonomics, or relational economics. An intriguing look into the economics of intimate relationship. Not the money spent, but the decisions made. See, most people don't understand. You don't look at the scarcity in your partner. That's a human being, a spirit. They are scarce. Do you understand? Right? They're unique. They're rare. They're scarce by default. Right? But if you're just looking at them from the perspective of them being a resource to your unhealed wounds or a resource to your fear, they are responsible for bringing peace and calmness into your life because you haven't mastered internal peace. Oh my goodness. Are their resources infinite? Because at some point, this is what they mean by relationship is work. At some point, y'all gonna hit a rough patch. And who you are in that rough patch is who you've always been. 1-800-920-1580. Let's get it. Love today seems to be a black market hybrid of Wall Street and Woodstock. A fevered collision of spreadsheets and soul chants and toxic positivity. Oh, we were made for each other. We love each other. This is all good. But you don't know how to keep it all good when it's all bad. Oh, Lord, you don't know how to get it back. Right? After rupture, you don't know how to come back to repair. Let's talk about it. We recite vows of oneness while secretly running balance sheets of affection, attention, and chores. The result is a psycho-spiritual, psychic Ponzi scheme in which the metaphysical promise of union is collateralized by the nervous system's terror of loss. Spouseonomics drags this double ledger into daylight, exposing how most romance is not really romance at all, but a shadow economy of unresolved trauma. The transactional bazaar. In the transactional market, intimacy functions like a rigged exchange. Partners price one another's labor, emotional or domestic, while pretending the currency is love, true love. The anxious partner prints limitless resources until affection inflates a junk market. The avoidant partner raises the emotional interest rates, hoarding privacy to keep their value scarce. Kahneman maps the cognitive bias. Oh my goodness. Babette Rothschild names the trauma bond. Patrick Carn traces the derivatives of shame. Krishnamurti warns that calculation is fear in a tuxedo. And Dr. David R. Hawkins calibrates this energy as the low-frequency gravity of desire. Here, every I love you carries a hidden bid-ask spread. What will you give me for my next ounce of warmth, of care, of consideration, of grace, of forgiveness? What will you exchange for that? This market cannot equilibrate because the commodity, attention, is generated by a finite nervous system, but desired by an infinite ego. Loss aversion turns into micro-conflict turns a micro-conflict into a market crash. The integrity ledger bleeds red when the outer ledger, sex, gifts, status, shows profit. A decade of this type of scarcity loop is not character building. Right? It is non-ergodic ruin. Lost years that no enlightenment can refinance. Yet, there exists a parallel economy, almost unthinkable to the transactional mind, the conscious relationship economy. Here, two individuated beings, or at least beings that have been on the path, that are embracing individuation, have traversed Jung's path of shadow integration, self-realization, and the long apprenticeship of solitude, meet not to trade deficits, but to witness wholeness within each other. Their union is not an IPO of unresolved wounds, but a joint venture of awakened self-sovereignty. In this field, supply and demand collapses because neither partner bargains for worth. Boundaries remain intact, but they function like healthy market regulations, not weapons of scarcity. Attention ceases to behave as hard currency and begins to resemble light, inexhaustible, non-local, impossible to hoard. Repair is not a penalty clause, but a sacrament. They keep ledgers only to honor clarity, then burn them in the fire of presence. The conscious relationship is not a sentimental utopia. It is a disciplined spiritual economy where every transaction is also a type of meditation. Each partner brings a diversified portfolio of selfhood, purpose, friendships, inner silence, so the bond never carries the reckless leverage of "you complete me." Instead of moral hazard, there is radical transparency. Instead of sunk cost worship, there is quarterly sunk cost amnesty. Both partners re-choose freely, knowing exit is always possible, and therefore consent remains pure. This contrast, I know, is explosive. In the transactional bazaar of intimate relationships, forgiveness without reform is a subsidy. Sex is illicit monetary policy. Kindness without enforcement invites moral hazard. In the conscious counter economy, generosity multiplies value precisely because it seeks no return. One system drains life to maintain the illusion of control. The other expands life by surrendering control altogether. What does your relationship economy look like? Did you choose for security? And because you chose for security, are you paying a high APR on a opportunity cost that you couldn't afford to pay by missing who you should have been with? 1-800-920-1580. Spouseonomics is not a guide to better bargaining. It is a call to spiritual arbitrage. Use the market tools. Relational NPV. Right? Sharp of love, attention, budgets. Only long enough to expose manipulation. Then torch the spreadsheet and enter the non-dual economy where love is not priced but practiced, but embodied, but projected from an internal source outward. Here, Carl Jung foresaw two actualized individuals meet not to merge into one, but to stand side by side as conscious equals, each whole, each free, a sovereign treasury of the infinite. The ultimate profit is paradox. When you stop trading for love, oh, I'm going to act right because you take care of me. That's a user. Can we talk about it? Can we get into it? The ultimate profit is paradox. When you stop trading for love, you discover a surplus that cannot be spent and a wealth that no market, human or divine, can ever collapse. The voice of reason, we about to get into it. What are the spouseonomics of your intimate relationship? The ledger of love. Why your heart runs a shadow balance sheet. When we come forward, the national discussion begins.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicordelai Corte. Let's preserve Black land stories before they're lost forever. I want to personally invite you to be a part of something historic. As journalist in residence for the Black Land Loss Narrative Archive Project, I've joined forces with powerhouse attorney and social justice champion George Fothery, the man who helped make history by delivering justice to the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, securing the first known return of land unjustly taken from Black owners by a local government. That victory was monumental, but it was just the beginning. For generations, Black families have acquired land through grit, faith, and determination, only to lose it through violence, legal loopholes, forced sales, and systematic racism. What's been taken goes far beyond dirt and deeds. It's the erasure of wealth, identity, and legacy. That's why we've launched the Black Land Loss Narrative Archive Project, a national effort to collect, protect, and preserve preserve the stories of black land lost before they're buried, forgotten, or erased altogether. Because there's power in telling black stories, there is resistance in remembering, and there's justice in being seen and heard. This is where you come in. We're inviting you to be a part of this historic black narrative archive. If you or someone you know has experienced land loss, displacement, or forced property sales, your story deserves to be heard and remembered. Your story belongs in this archive. Your truth matters not just to your family, but to our collective future. Visit blacklandloss.org today. Fill out our simple intake form and add your voice to the National Archive of Remembrance, Resilience, and Reckoning. Let's make these stories live on, not in whispers, but on the record. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Dr. Nicolai Corte, and as always, we welcome your feedback.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Head back to the beginning of time. No, nothing, nowhere, or no one to find. We follow the moonlight, chase after the sun, searching for some peace of mind, searching for the silver light. Stop, turn, look and see. Pause, breathe, run and dream. Stay strong, live and lead. Move, love across seas.
Jimmy sells his catch at the local market. He knows that he can sell only fresh fish, so he throws the bad ones away, regardless of the time it takes him to find, catch, and clean the fish. Jimmy knows that if he were to sell spoiled goods, his customers would not return. So instead of crying over stale fish, he considers them as sunk costs and sells what customers actually want. In his free time, Jimmy isn't that rational. Unlike fish that don't go to the movies, Jimmy does. He buys himself a ticket for the afternoon show, but it turns out that a few hours before the film starts, his friends want to meet up to play football, Jimmy's favorite sport. Since he has already spent money on the ticket, he declines the invitation. According to sunk costs theory, he shouldn't have. The money he spent on the ticket is already gone, and he won't get it back by watching the movie. What matters is that he has a good time. Jimmy falls for the so-called sunk cost fallacy, the strong natural fear of losing what we already own, and the tendency of our brain to treasure all the things we possess. A more famous example of the fallacy is the Concorde, the supersonic passenger plane. Building the aircraft proved to be very difficult and expensive, but instead of shutting down the project, the British and French governments continued funding it, even though they knew the aircraft would not have any economic benefit. They argued that they had invested too much to give up. To test the sunk cost fallacy, economists Hal Arks and Catherine Bloomer came up with an experiment using theatre season tickets. The regular price for the season was $15, but some people were randomly given discounts of either $7 or $2. It turned out that the people who had paid the regular price attended more plays than those who received a discount. Interestingly,
Listen! Yes. We're having an economics class here. People misinterpret economics. They think it's about money. No, it's about decisions. You are deciding, right, the best course of action that will bring you satisfaction, right? Listen, do you know how dangerous it is to have your wounds make these decisions? Do you know that? Do you know how dangerous it is to have your unhealed wounds make the decisions? In the spiritual realm, which is the realm of relating, the basic concepts, right, of economics don't apply. They simply don't. They apply at the social level, right? We're going to merge our monies. You work there, you work here. We're going to merge our monies, right? We're going to have a central bank account for us, and then we're going to have our own separate personal bank accounts, right? Do you get what I'm saying? All of like, people don't realize how much economics affects their relationships. But on the spirit side, how does a person who is worldly, highly educated, has everything anybody could ever want, the best education, the best career, known, revered, and respected, but internally disheveled, broken, impoverished? What would that relationship look like? That's why when people say, what are you bringing to the table? I say, what are you bringing to the table that we can't see? I can see your degree. I can see your car. I know where you work. What are you bringing to the table that we can't see? The ledger of love. While your heart runs a shadow balance sheet. Oh, the psychological insight here. Attachment theory shows that anxious and avoidant partners unconsciously track emotional credits, rewarding or punishing affection. Your philosophical insight. Krishnamurti warned that calculation is fear disguised as order. Your psychiatric insight. Trauma survivors often rely on hypervigilant accounting to avoid abandonment. Your economic insight. Behavioral economics. Behavioral economists call this mental accounting, where every smile or silence is priced like a volatile asset. This is happening in intimate relationships. When we come forward, the phone lines are percolating. I know you guys want to talk. I'm going to get you in here. Let's get it.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. President Trump is criticizing New York Governor Kathy Hochul for endorsing Zohran Mamdani for mayor, calling it a shocking and bad move for the city. Hochul backed Mamdani in a New York Times op-ed praising his affordability platform, but noting she doesn't share all of his views.
I believe that we need someone who's going to be open-minded and optimistic.
Trump is signaling support for Andrew Cuomo and reportedly offered current black mayor Eric Adams a role in his administration if he drops out of the race. UCLA has fired head football coach Deshaun Foster, who is black, after an 0-3 start capped by a home loss to New Mexico. Tim Skipper will take over as interim coach. And Serena and Venus Williams are launching a new podcast called Stockton Street, named after their childhood street in Compton. Debuting Wednesday on X, the first episode was filmed at Arthur Ashe Stadium before the U.S. Open, with the sisters interviewing each other. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Hey, KBLA 1580 delegation, your health matters to us. We know that information is power, especially when it comes to prevention and treatment. That's why we're proud to introduce the brand new KBLA Health and Wellness Hub. This online space is built just for you, connecting our community to trusted health resources, culturally relevant care, and even access to diverse clinical trials and emerging therapies. Whether you're looking for information on common conditions, mental health support, or just want to stay on top of your wellness journey, we got you. And the best part, it's all on our website at KBLA1580.com. Accessible, empowering, community-focused. So just go to KBLA1580.com and click on the Health and Wellness Hub icon, because knowledge is power and your health is everything. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent, and the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key. Privacy. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside. Don't say a thing. Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, I am D.L. Hughley, host of the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show, heard weekdays from 2 to 4, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. I promise to make you think a little, but laugh a whole lot more. So tune in to the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show, 2 to 4, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Outside, we in the garden, sunshine. Is it the time? Cause I know that you're here. Don't get me started, I'll be here. Let me try this again.
But excuse me, I'm begging your pardon. That look, it leads me to think that I know that you know that I know that you know. Yeah, let your head down, we can slow down. You the moon child, but you're so wild. Pack your bags now, here we go. Take you up to the moon, we can watch the sunrise, baby.
I want you to create a SWOT analysis for your life. Here's why. I use SWOT analysis for my clients to assess their business based off their competitors within the marketplace. I also think that a SWOT analysis is really great on a personal level. What I want you to do is grab a piece of paper, or you can grab a dry erase board like I did, and I want you to write your vision statement at the top of that paper. From there, create this little graph and write strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What your strengths are the things that comes natural to you. It could be your purpose. What do people say about you that are positives about yourself? Your weaknesses, that's just an area that you can improve on. So for instance, if your vision statement is to be a great public speaker, well, maybe the weakness is you hate public speaking. Don't worry about that being a weakness or a struggle point, because that can be an opportunity for you. If you know where you're weak at, you know the areas that you can improve. You can find a coach to work with or get in a part of a public speaking course so you can become better.
Interesting. I love that. You know, some old internal auditing. The voice of reason. And KBLA, boy, we like Shaq and Kobe together now. I'm Kobe, though. Oh, the voice of reason on KBLA Talk 1580. You guys already know what it is. Tonight's topic is straight flames. The inflation of intimacy. How overgiving devalues desire. It's a heavy topic tonight. Spouseonomics. Ooh, Lord. Spouseonomics. Here's your psychological insight here. Excessive reassurance creates affection inflation. Inflation happens in the market when the market has too many dollars. The market will get more and more dollars when the value of it goes down. So then the market gets flooded with dollars, which pushes inflation even higher. You need more dollars to buy the same products. Yikes. Too much affection? Whew. Creates affection inflation, where each loving act buys less emotional stability. Your philosophical insight. Desire, as Dr. David R. Hawkins notes, vibrates at a frequency that traps consciousness in craving. Your psychiatric insight. Codependency research shows that chronic overfunctioning activates stress circuits that mimic addiction. And then finally, your economic insight. Like a central bank printing money, oversupply destroys the purchasing power of love. But what if you're with a person that has an insecure attachment style? Do they have a mechanism within them that produces internal inflation that seeps out into the relationship? For people who wanted to know, the young lady, I forgot her name. What was her name, Andy? She was talking about creating a personal SWOT analysis. I wish we had her name to give her some credit here, because that was beautiful, to turn that SWOT analysis inwardly. Of course, that's self-inquisition. That is self-confrontation. This is what makes relationships viable. This is what makes relationships sustainable, when a person has had like a real Angel versus Jacob moment with themselves, where they stop running from the Esau of their wounds and kind of have this, knockdown, drag out fight with the higher self, right? In order to conquer the lower self, the fear-based self, right? This is heavy stuff, man. Attachment as monetary policy. When nervous systems behave like central banks. Your psychological insight. Avoidant partners raise interest rates by withholding contact. Anxious partners flood the market with reassurance. Sometimes, sometimes now, you got to hold on to your reassurance. Sometimes, especially when, do you know how valuable reassurance is? But in the spiritual realm, that value is subjective, especially if someone is internally wounded to the point that they've become an avoidant. Reassurance is not currency to them. Reassurance is actually poverty. Ooh, 1-800-920-1580. Get to the phone lines. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Your philosophical insight, Pema Chodron, calls this futile attempt, or she calls it a futile attempt to control impermanence. Right? Your clinical insight, Babette Rothschild, documents how trauma dysregulates autonomic arousal, driving scarcity and hoarding behaviors. Your economic insight, this is a live experiment in liquidity management. Too much stimulus or too much austerity collapses trust. We've got callers on the line. I want to get them in here right now. Nazarene X, Atlanta, Georgia. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Love. I believe most of these relationships are starting off as quote-unquote mattress money to begin with.
Mattress money? What is mattress? Talk to me, sir.
You ain't playing that game, don't participate. Not everybody is even qualified to have an account with these foreign entities out here in the first place.
Oh, wow.
I mean, basically, when you're doing things within the sight of an overseer or a banker or FDIC or in America, if your value system is subject to get got, subject to withholding, subject to this, subject to that, the whole thing of sovereignty, we can make that a sovereignty. Like y'all could come in and rework your own, I guess, what they call it these days, like a treasure chest, a bunker for the bills. You could bargain, you could put all your bargaining chips under the pillow. Like basically, if you're gonna be laying together in the first place, you might as well have a plan. A lot of folk will have that mentality up front that's like, I'm gonna need something in advance for what's to come.
Down payment.
Word.
Layaway.
A layup for the getaway driver, whatever it is basically having a vision on your own, for one, then coming in contact with someone who is on your same frequency, using the same so-called currency. Again, it's all in that where you make your bed, where you lay your head type of thing. I'm just looking to keep playing off of that because at the end of the day, like, not to make it too nasty, but the muddy wucky, but we could, how you say, we don't need a facility in the first place. The whole of Earth is our domain. So we can have cash in the bushes. I think that's actually wise. I believe that, again, when you look at what is a resource to you, what you're gonna rely upon, what you tapped into as your source code. Like, as long as you don't have to go, like your brother was saying, what's the man's name, Jimmy or something? Like, as long as you know how to fish, you don't need to keep getting fish duckets or whatever the case is. I'm looking to see how I can say it in advance. Like,
well, no, hold that thought because we got to move forward, but stay right there. Figure out how you want to say it, and when we come forward, you gonna say it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Yo, it's Zoe Williams, the VOR, and I know you're tired of pretty gems with pretty lies, where people seem to scroll more than they sweat. Well, it's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion, and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff and Puff.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Talks brings to you the difference between black wealth and white wealth explained in less than 2 minutes. In America, we think that we understand race, wealth, and how the two intertwine. We believe in a sharing of wealth among the races that largely does not exist. The truth is, by the data, there are really hardly any blacks that are millionaires in the United States, and whites largely own almost all of the personal wealth in the country. According to demos.org, white America owns 90% of the national wealth, with the top 50% of white families holding 88% of all of America's personal wealth in their bank accounts. Despite having billionaire Oprah Winfrey, of the 14 million black families, less than a few 100,000 of these households are worth more than $1 million, and that number is shrinking. While at the same time, over 8.5 million white families are worth more than $1 million. Adding to this, almost all of the 540 American billionaires are white as well. In fact, according to a report by Credit Suisse, to be in the top 5% of black families, you only need to be worth $356,000, including your house. All while just the top few hundred white American families are worth more than all of black America combined. Subscribe to learn more at tonetalks.org.
Man! My niece is hitting me with all types of videos, and as you know, I listen when y'all listen. Look at that. Man, Tone Talks, Black Wealth and White Wealth. That's the name of that video. You guys should look it up. We got a heavy topic tonight. We're talking about spouseonomics. There's a spiritual economy that doesn't play by the same rules as the societal economy. Right? You could have the partner of your dreams, but still be internally in debt, hiding behind a mask, right? That hides all of that debt. Oh, but is it really hidden? All you have to do is hit a rough patch, a bumpy patch, and we'll see what that spiritual bank account looks like. We got Nazarene X from Atlanta, Georgia on the line. Nazarene, I want you to finish your thought, my friend. What was the point you were making before we came forward?
I'm going to say this and I'm going to end mine. Because basically, your hump game is your hush money. Your legacy deserves abundance. I encourage folk to go hard or go harder. I love you.
Man, we love you too. Guess what you just did, my friend?
Atlanta
is on the board. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. In economics, the term for ultimate satisfaction is utility. Right? We want utility and endless amounts of utility. The struggle with economics on the superficial side, well, not really superficial side, but on the social side is real simple. There's this balance between unlimited wants, right? Our wants are infinite, right? But finite resources. All of our wants can't be satiated. So think about how we walk into an intimate relationship where we want our partner to fulfill us, right? That might be outside of the PPF. That might be outside of the curve, right? Might be impossible to achieve. We've got other callers on the line. I want to get them in here too. Sean from Oakland, California. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Brother, so the thing with the relationship that I think a lot of young, so I'm only going to focus on young people because you and I'm not going to say we're old.
It's over. It's over for us. It's over for us.
We are older. and we have our own way of doing things, right? And we see things that maybe they should be doing. But here's what I would give, because I have kids, you have kids, grandkids, all that stuff, is that you tell them, you have to, build relationships. You have to build relationships. And the way you do that is building him in an honest way, right? So it doesn't look like, once you tell one thing that is not true, you're done. You're toast. You know, because the one thing I told my kids when they're young, you know, when you lie, it makes everything worse.
Right.
When you lie, it makes everything worse. So when you're building relationships in your you know, your world as a young person, you know, why don't you just be yourself, be honest all the time, but whenever, you know, they throw something at you that's not cool, you tell them it's not cool.
Right. I can agree with that. I appreciate you always calling in and supporting the show, brother. Guess what you just did?
Oakland, baby, and we're going to keep moving forward.
Yes, sir. Sean from Oakland, California, town business in the house. In economics, there's a concept called the opportunity cost. What about the opportunity cost associated with staying? Calculating the hidden price of a scarcity loop. Your psychological insight here, years spent in chronic threat, blunt creativity, and it shrinks cognitive bandwidth. If you're just in this chronic stress or survival mode when you're in a relationship, right? Your philosophical insight here, Kierkegaard's sickness unto death, describes the despair of a life deferred. Are you deferring your life because you're safe? That's interesting. Your psychological insight. Prolonged relational stress predicts depression and immune dysfunction. And then your economic insight. Non-ergodic risk means the time you lose in one relationship can never be averaged away by future gains. So many of us allow fear to choose the partner, to choose the situation, when it might be somewhere else. But that is the opportunity cost that fear puts in front of you. You want to be secure, you want to be safe, you want to have everything you think you need in terms of what society has to offer. Do you know it's very frightening for a person who is unhealed, especially if they have any avoidant tendencies, to really, truly accept love? So the opportunity cost is, I won't experience love. I'll go where the security is. And it's a type of security that I wish to control. Listen, who am I talking to? When we come forward, the voice of reason shall complete this cookery.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. President Trump is criticizing New York Governor Kathy Hochul for endorsing Zohran Mamdani for mayor, calling it a shocking and bad move for the city. Hochul backed Mamdani in a New York Times op-ed, praising his affordability platform, but noting she doesn't share all of his views.
I believe that we need someone who's going to be open-minded and optimistic.
Trump is signaling support for Andrew Cuomo and reportedly offered current black mayor Eric Adams a role in his administration if he drops out of the race. UCLA has fired head football coach Deshaun Foster